Yes, hi, I'm Linda Cochran. Thanks for watching my channel. So quite often we do this pose in yoga called Adho Mukha Virasana or forward hero pose, where you sit on your heels with your knees apart, and then you come forward like this, and you put your head down either on a block or you put your hands on blocks. But the point is that you're sitting all the way down on your heels and your knees are quite a bit bent here. So for many people, this is not an easy pose, even for young people. The ankles might be bothering you or painful, and the knees definitely might be painful. So I want to show you some ideas on how to make this pose easier. Okay, so how can we make this pose easier? If your ankles hurt, this is one trick that you can do. You have a blanket. First of all, it's good to have a blanket to protect the knees. But take this blanket and make a roll. And that roll can be as small or as big as you need it. The point is that you put your the ankles right over that roll, and it just gives you a little more space for your foot. And then as your feet get a little more used to this pose, they get a little more flexible in the joints, you might be able to make this roll smaller. So now you can comfortably come forward without the ankles hurting. Now, if the knees are hurting, that's a different issue. So there's different ways to deal with that. So if you're able to bend quite a bit, almost coming all the way down, then you take a blanket and just put that, give you a little height between the buttocks and the heels. Now, if the knees are hurting more, another way is you take another blanket and you squeeze that all the way in between the backs of the knees, so there's a little gap there. And then you can add another blanket. You sit a little taller. Or you can add more blanket and you sit even taller. Okay, and now if that doesn't work still, then I would keep this little gap between the knees there in the back of the knees. Then you will need a bolster for this one. Then you can sit as tall here with a bolster. Now, if this still doesn't work, then I would just go ahead and sit on a chair. Now, let me show you next how to then come forward if you sit this tall. Now, if the case is that you have to sit this tall to come into the pose, then that's fine. But then you're going to need a chair because you need something a little taller to come forward. So I turn my chair, the back of the chair facing me, and then I'm coming forward, resting my arms, my forehead on my arms, and then I just have to push my tailbone down towards that bolster, so I'm not arching my lower back. Okay, so that's one way. Now, if the situation is that you're sitting a little lower, then you don't need so much height on the chair. If you were sitting at this kind of height, you could have the chair in front with the chair seat facing you, reach forward and rest your hands, your arms on the chair, the head on the chair, this way. Right now, if you're sitting all the way down with just one blanket, maybe 1.5 blanket, then you can come forward with 2 blocks. Reaching forward, using the blocks to press the tailbone back And then you can bring that block in depending on the lower setting or the medium setting, and bring the hands on the floor. And use those hands to press the tailbone back. Roll the inner arms to the ceiling. And then you come up. Now the last version I want to show you is if your situation is that you need to sit on a chair, watch and let me show you how to do that. All right, now if you're on the chair, then come pretty close to the wall with the toes against the wall. Bring your hands flat, palms flat into the wall, press them in, move the tailbone down into the chair, draw the shoulders down, and walk up. Walk your hands up, and again, press your hands into the wall, move the tailbone back and down into the chair seat so you don't get this arching and the tailbone lifting. And that is different ways of doing Adho Mukha Virasana, forward hero pose. Thanks for watching.